Hey AfterBuzzers, we are so excited to talk about the new series on Freeform, The Bold Type. We'll be talking about stalking your unstockable ex, Scarlet Magazine, and chasing dreams, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I ain't gonna break for that. I'm a Wonder Woman.
You hear that, ladies? Wonder Women! And we are this wondrous women panel. All right.
I don't know what's happening over here, ladies.
Too much don't arm flail when you're very close to people. It doesn't end well.
All right,
You'll hit them.
Well, ladies, I don't know about you, but The Bold Type is starting it off with a great bang. I'm loving it so far. But before we get into this, Freeform's new show of The Bold Type, I'd love to introduce our lovely panel. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Alrighty, ladies. Where can they find you, Becca, on social media?
I'm Becca Brown. You'll follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
Becca B. And Leslie Ambriz here. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at In Less Than No Time, and that's less with one S.
And you can find me on Instagram at Karla with a K and then BEE Travels.
You can find me on Twitter at Nasta and on Instagram at AllieGirl. Well, ladies, what are your initial thoughts?
So many.
I gotta
like,
Alrighty, let's start with Becca because Becca cried. All right, she was in tears, feels loving it.
I got like so into it at the end during the speech. I was like, I kind of forgot I was watching a show and not some movie that I've seen 10 times. And I was like, oh, this speech is so good. I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah.
I just love that the show's about like powerful women.
Definitely, and something that I loved that it did is that whenever you see kind of fashion type magazine shows or movies, you almost expect the editor-in-chief to be this like big, mean, bad, person. And I really liked that they were able to show her as being, you know, a very strong, powerful editor-in-chief, but with so much like there was like a nice side to her where she basically was trying to get the good work out of all of her employees, but in a great way of doing
It was like
that.
the perfect blend of like what leadership should be,
Exactly.
you know? Like you don't have to be assertive with people and bring them down. That's only going to make them fear you and not actually come to you with their problems.
Right.
But like the fact that the girls can actually talk to her.
Totally.
That was beautiful. I like that moment a lot.
So your initial thoughts, you guys are liking it so far.
I
love
like it.
it.
I
Yeah,
like it. I might be a little bit of a devil's advocate on this side today. I liked it. From a writer's perspective, though, I thought it was a little bit rushed. I don't know if maybe with the first episode they want to just give you like good feels and want everyone to be like, oh my God, I can't wait. And then the drama / comedy is going to be more mixed in throughout the season. That's what I'm hoping will happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did feel it was as much as it was really good, I did feel it was a little rushed.
Yeah, which I think sometimes they definitely try to do that with first episodes of new seasons because they want to get you hooked.
Yeah.
And I feel like now that I feel as if after watching that first episode, I'm very invested in these characters already. After like
See,
what,
that's good
45
then.
minutes?
Yeah,
So
okay.
I'm very invested. So it made me definitely, even though they did give us a lot, and it moved really fast. I'm really excited to see like how they're gonna string these characters along.
Yeah.
I do feel like it was a little bit rushed, but I feel like it was rushed so we get to know the characters kind of in their names. Although I still need to like go back and every time the show starts, I like go back and rewatch like multiple times before I learn everyone's names.
Right.
I think it was,
I
thought it was more than just like knowing the names. I thought it was more about like you actually connecting with the characters. Because I feel like with everything that happened, now we know a lot about them and we know about their feelings and we just like I feel like I just connected with each one like differently and like now I don't want no drama to happen because I don't want any of them to get hurt.
I know.
I live for the drama.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all love it a little bit, especially in shows like this, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Yeah, and TV, not in real life.
Oh, not in real life at all. But like with these kind of shows, we all hate drama in real life. I think everybody does.
Yeah.
Keep that far away
But
from me.
before we get into all the characters and the development of this plot, I would like to mention how this show, the executive producer is actually Joanna Coles based off of her former experience as an editor-in-chief.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and so they were talking about this in a Variety article, which I definitely think you guys should go check it out because it gives you more insight. And I think it's great because it's like she's bringing these experiences kind of in light of a very creative and fun way to see it. And I think it's important because, like we said, we see these stereotypes of things from movies and TV, and we're getting, since she's the executive producer, she's able to give a real life experience and put that into the show.
Yeah.
Which I think we'll probably see come to life.
Which is cool too, because I don't think that this positive experience is something that someone would expect from like a
Right.
Cosmo background.
Right.
Because you expect Cosmo to be like edgy and like, oh, it was probably really like cutthroat working in that environment. But to see that maybe she had leaders that were nurturing her in the same way that she's nurturing other girls
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
inspiring. Yeah.
I think the main problem is why people see like that the magazine environment like that is because of Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
there
that's
are
the main
movies
problem.
like that. Like as great as the acting was, as great as the writing was, they did
They give it a
portray.
stigmatism.
Yeah,
Exaggerate.
Right.
exactly.
And you kind of can't help but think about those environments based on a movie that you saw because it was so it wasn't powerful because at the end of the movie, you know, we did see her, but that's not what we're
Yeah,
talking about today. We'll skip. It's hard, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
like,
totally
you kind
get
of
it,
you have that stigmatism with it. But I was kind of getting vibes from, I don't know if you guys have seen the show Younger. I was kind of getting like vibes, Younger vibes and The Hills vibes. And there's one
Okay.
other show, but I mean, overall, I think it's really exciting. And I think we should get into these characters.
Let's do it.
So we have Jane, Sutton, and Kat, the main three best friends. And then we've got Jacqueline, the editor-in-chief. And then we have Patrick, what's his name? Is the love interest. Richard, sorry.
Richard, yeah.
Richard Hunter.
I was like,
who's
oh
a
shoot,
board
I missed
member.
a character.
Sorry,
No, you're good.
sometimes I just make up names. Maybe I was thinking he looked like
looks
a Patrick.
like a Patrick.
So,
He could pass.
You
We're
know,
just renaming the characters. It's
yeah,
fine.
and then we have Adina. So those are the main characters that we've gotten introduced to right now. So let's just start with Jane. So she obviously was a promoted assistant, promoted from assistant to writer, and she's coming through some struggles right now. But she seems like she's a little worried and held back, and I think it was a great experience for her to like be able to talk to her boss about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you think about her little project of stalking your unstockable ex?
Oh, girl, good luck. Good luck. I mean, she did it, but at the like, my initial thought at the beginning when it was assigned was like, oh, we'll see how this goes.
Personally, I thought that the assignment was going to be really interesting, but she doesn't really stalk him because she ends up going to talk to him in the end. So, but I think the project itself would have been like really cool to kind of see it play out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she needs to gain more confidence in herself and what she's doing. As Allie said during the show, you're doing this for work.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Like, don't hesitate.
Like it's a big opportunity.
Yeah, it's a big
Definitely.
opportunity. Just like remember, this is a work purpose.
Totally. And I mean, when she was
Exactly.
like trying to stalk her ex, the reason she was unstockable, I feel like I'm saying that unstockable.
Unstockable. You're good. No, you're good. It just sounds weird.
Sounds
It
like
does
a
sound
weird.
weird.
But the reason he was is because he wasn't be able to
On
like
social
found
media?
on social media. Like what do you? I mean, her boss asked her, "Isn't that a little weird? How would you feel if you couldn't find your ex on social
I mean,
media?"
there's people. Go ahead, Becca.
No.
Okay, I mean, I've getting real. There's been like, I know like I've like met like guys before, and I'll find out later that they don't have like Facebook or something. I'm literally like on Google like quotation marks around their name. I'm like, there has to be an article. Like you did something in high school. There has to be something.
You got like arrested.
Yeah, like trying to find something on them. So I can only imagine that was part of her process is searching. I've tried it. It's very difficult. I spent a lot of hours on the internet, so I'm proud of her for driving out and at least seeing him walk to his apartment.
And we see her go to a party that she knows one of his friends is going to be at, hoping that he'll show up. And I mean, obviously that takes some courage to go, and she's, you know, opening up to one of his friends, which you know he's going to go back.
Yeah, he's totally
tell
gonna
him.
tell him.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, I met this girl.
Right.
So remember your ex?
Yeah. And he totally was like, you're basically getting the vibes that she wasn't over it yet.
Yeah.
But that brings us back to how she got drunk and then went back to the office, which this office vibe, they are all very comfortable doing whatever
they want. And that's, yeah.
Like, I was just kind of shocked by that. I mean, we've got vibrators in one room, the girls changing her underwear, we've got someone that's
just like, I'm just gonna take off my bra right
It's like sexting, like having phone sex, taking her panties off, like doing all these things, taking her bra off in the middle of the office while people are walking around.
Well,
I get that it's like Cosmo-esque, but come on.
But yeah, we're like,
girl.
I hope this isn't what's actually happening. No, I'm kidding.
Let's go on a tour of Cosmo.
But that does bring us to Sutton's character, who
that
she
is
is sleeping with Richard. I keep wanting to call him Patrick. She's sleeping with Richard, who's one of the board members. And I kind of am already sensing that there's jealousy in this part of her friendship with Jane. I feel like there's an underlying. She obviously hasn't outwardly said anything yet, but I kind of sense that could be something that it kind of comes up later in their friendship. What do you guys think?
Would you say that Jane is more of like a, well, if I'm single and lonely, you have to be too kind of?
No,
environment,
I'm thinking more, I think Sutton is going to be more jealous based on, she's the only one out of those three friends that is still an assistant. And I mean, just kind of like, oh, my friends are doing this while I'm still picking out the macaroons. Like that comment kind of, I feel like her character said that because she is secretly feeling a little resentful. So I'm wondering if that's a foreshadowing of something that we might see play out later in the season. So I just wanted to see if you guys maybe picked up on that too.
Oh, sorry. I switched characters. When
Oh,
were
that's
talking.
okay.
That's why in my brain I was like, wait, how do you say that? No, but yeah, I totally see that happening.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely going to happen because, like, you could already tell from the beginning that she was uncomfortable, and, like, I feel like maybe a part of her does really like Richard, but I feel like a part of her maybe she wants to use Richard to kind of move up from her position that she's at.
I didn't even think about that.
Because she was the one that said, like, in the beginning, they were like, oh, well, you know that this is not what I wanted. So, like, it was kind of like, okay, then, like, really, like, is that really not what you want? Like, I don't know. I just thought it was, like, strange.
Becca, what are you
I
thinking?
feel like it's gonna be vice versa, and Richard's just gonna hurt her in the end.
Yeah, but the thing is,
like
though,
him.
what we at first I was kind of, when her friends did confront her and say, we're just a little worried about you, like, where is this gonna go? Because he's a board member, he can walk away from this. You're an assistant, you could be the one that gets in trouble. And I kind of, I kind of understood that. So I was really like, that shows so much strength in her character that we already saw her stand up to Richard.
Yeah.
And, like from the get go, because I feel sometimes when you have characters that are sleeping with someone in the office, you always see this like strong line of they don't know if they're gonna say something. So I was like, the fact that she stuck her grounds and was thinking, you're right, I'm going to, nip it while it's ahead, and we're gonna figure this out. I think that in that case, I don't think she's using him for a ladder kind of thing. I think she actually has feelings for him. Yeah.
It just so happened that he's unfortunately a board member.
Yeah. Right. Right. And I mean, at first I was kind of thinking, oh, he's a jerk, he keeps pulling her aside and like doing these things outside of work or whatever, but he called her back and he says, I want to take you on a date. So this is positive.
I was surprised.
Signs. Yeah.
Do you think he could turn on the date?
I don't know. I feel like asking her on a date is such a huge step.
Yeah, I think so too.
What do you mean turn? What, like, let's learn more.
Like he
Skip
could
out?
be, or like skip out, or like he's like, okay, well I took you on one date, so now
You have to do
that's
this.
gotta
I can, like,
suffice.
now you're at like my beck and call still,
Oh.
and then he'll like keep going back to that
I'm on
one
this
date
side.
or a few dates. He just
I
seems
don't
like
like
I
him.
feel like we need a villain. We need a villain, and I feel like he's gonna be the villain in the show.
I don't.
I guess you're right, because honestly, at the end of this episode, I didn't see any villains. Especially because I even wrote down Jacqueline. I was like, wow, she was a lot nicer than I was expecting.
Definitely.
I feel like the villain is gonna be the guy who Jane met or Eric's friend.
Oh. So you think he's going to be more of a player in this show?
I mean, I feel like in a way, because I feel like it's gonna create drama between Eric, him, and Jane.
Like he's gonna
get together with Jane.
Oh,
So
okay,
do you
that's
think
how.
that Eric is going to be more prominent in this story after this article comes out? Because obviously it didn't end up being about your unstoppable ex. It turned out to be the girl that was left at the train station on her birthday. So she's looking more like the victim now, and it's going to be a story. Like, so you think he might come back and be like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm so sorry. I missed out on an opportunity with you.
Once she's already dating his friend.
What do you guys think? Because I was thinking that he was just going to be like, all right, that's null and void. He's out of the story now.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be a part of the show personally. I thought that it was just going to be like the beginning of her kind of becoming more confident about what she was writing and then just like be done with it and move on to new like people, I thought.
I don't know, Leslie, what are you thinking?
I'm kind of.
You thinking Eric's going to
I
stick
feel
around?
like I'm gonna agree with Karla. I feel like Eric is just kind of for this episode.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I could see it that way too.
Yeah. I guess. Well, I guess we'll just... It's like so funny because
yeah.
we did get so many tidbits of storylines that are kind of could be wrapped up that you don't know who's going to stick around.
Yeah, because
And-
even sorry, continue.
No, that's
going
okay.
like sorry, my brain started
No,
working
yeah.
again. Hey, it's late. But I feel like Jane's gonna go on this journey of like self-discovery because she's struggled so hard like being single and like loving this guy and she's finally let him go at the end of the episode. So it'd be cool to see her since it is like a very feminist.
You're right. It's like a
show.
fresh beginning.
Yeah, like a fresh beginning of like, I'm gonna focus on my career. I don't need a guy right now. Eventually, later on, yeah, but at this point, no. Maybe that's where we'll see the friend come in as a villain because he tries to intersect that.
Right.
I feel like you just like created the perfect tagline for what happened in this episode for like the rest of the season.
Tell me.
The whole her Jane going on like a discovering herself journey.
Yeah, I
feel
totally
like all
agree.
of them are gonna go on that journey, and I mean, we see Kat is, in my opinion, definitely going to go on that journey with Dina.
Yeah, which let's get into Kat. All right, so what are we thinking about her? She self-proclaims she's a feminist, and she's totally trying. I mean, she's very powerful, very
love her.
strong. She says what needs to be said,
Yeah.
and she's not afraid about it. And I love that. She's very confident, and that's kind of what we see with Adina. But Becca, tell us your thoughts of what you think Adina and Kat
Yeah, she
are
got
gonna be.
opinions
Yeah.
on this. Uh-huh.
I mean, this is kind of a prediction, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think they're gonna get together.
Yeah.
I could see it. There's a lot of hints towards it. Definitely.
I think they'd be cute. Well, I like Adina.
I think what's interesting is that you think no, that would never happen because Kat kind of openly says no, that's not how I am, and then you have these raw, intimate moments where she might even have some self-discovery of wow, I never thought this is something
That I would.
that I would be into, and then she realizes she's already drawn so much emotional attachment towards her.
Yeah.
But we can't tell. Like that's the thing is, I don't want to assume these things obviously because it's so fresh in the beginning, and we're still we're peeling back these characters, and we've only have one layer peeled back from all of them. So it's very interesting to see that just could be her very vulnerable and emotional side, that she just cares so much about everybody, and that's how she is as a person and as a character that we'll see, is that every story, every person that she encounters, they become someone she cares so immensely about. And maybe it's not that she gets, she actually likes Adina. It's more that she is a very emotional and vulnerable person that like cares about everybody else.
Yeah, so we'll see like triumphs and
little bit of
hurts
that
through
too.
that
Right.
personality trait. No,
Right.
I like that analysis.
Me
I
too.
really like Kat's character. I guess it's more of like a question, which we'll see hopefully on later on in the show, is I would like to see more people of color and not just a token character, which I feel like Kat is right now.
Right.
So I'm hoping that they, like you said, will like pull apart her character a little bit more. We'll see more depth, and hopefully more people will come in like based out of her character.
Yeah, I definitely like that.
Yes.
And that kind of makes me wonder, do you think Adina is going to be a main part of this story, or do you think she might go away as well as like the Eric character?
I hope she stays because I think we really like Adina and kind of like what she stands for. But you're right. I don't really see where else like the story can go with her besides her being with
in a
Kat.
relationship. Yeah.
Because then in the beginning it kind of just seems like like Kat is just kind of using her to get the story, and she kind of does get the story in the end, and we don't really know much from her. Like, we just see her like, yeah.
That's a great point that you bring up, only because, you know, in the beginning she's like, oh, I just went on this rabbit hole of figuring out if she could get her, and that was kind of just like an on the surface type, I don't care about this, I'm just trying to get the story. And then we did see that raw moment, so it's kind of confusing as to, I guess that's what brings Becca's point, is because she has this surface level of emotion, and then she also has this deep level emotion with Adina in person. So I don't know.
I feel like they clicked very well.
Yeah.
I feel like Kat didn't think that they would click well.
Right.
And I feel like Adina didn't think they would click well. But, like, something about them, like, talking about, or about Kat trying to convince her to run with the article and get her to give Kat permission to do the article. Like, something about that. They got along, and there was chemistry there.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, there are so many questions, obviously, because it's only the first episode, and I'm sure, I feel like that's always, I always have so many questions in my head, and I'm like, but I have to have the answers now, and obviously not. That's why TV's so good, because they keep you on your toes.
We'll have them in like 3 weeks.
Right, 3 weeks, whatever.
5, 6.
Yeah. But
or 3 seasons later.
Yeah, seriously.
Exactly.
Or
I
what
hope
is
the show gets like 7 seasons.
I know. It is really good. And I will say that at the end, I think what really kind of tied this episode in a pretty bow for me and kind of held me feeling great and about what this show stands for is Jacqueline's speech at the party.
Yes.
How did you guys
Definitely.
feel about that?
I loved her speech because it just kind of like empowered the girls that work there to not be afraid, and especially because they are in a really tough environment, like as far as like work. But I feel like even we said it like, wow, that's like a really long lunch break when they went on, but it's just kind of like that freedom of like being responsible and like girl power, and just like her speech just summed the whole show up like perfectly, and I personally loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
It was a great cover letter, like to show us like what's going on with the show for the next season, which I totally agree with that. I like too that they brought on from another show that I'm a part of. One of the characters said like, there's nothing wrong with beauty as long as there's brains behind it. And I feel like that quote was like enveloped in that speech, where we talk about fashion, we talk about beauty, but that doesn't make us less about girl power because we're talking about these things. Like, we're showing that women can be beautiful and can care about political issues, and they can care about everything going on in the world at the same time. So I loved it.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part of Jacqueline's speech was her talking about Jane. And about what Jane had said to her about how the magazine is like an older sister that she never had, because it proves that Jacqueline cares about the people at her workplace. She's invested in them. She wants to help them grow, and she wants the magazine to do the same for other people growing up who want to get involved in the industry.
Right, and I loved that older sister kind of how she kind of threw that in there, and how she stated it, because it is true, and I think what this show is obviously what we're seeing so clear, and what's going to be exciting to see how they kind of tie it in throughout the season, is that Jacqueline didn't just push her away and said, this is terrible, go fix it.
There was advice.
And there was advice, there was thought behind it, and you could tell she was trying to provoke Jane to think out of the box. And I really, really loved how she said, I think, did I write it down? She said something about what you are, I think I definitely wrote it down somewhere, but she said something about how stop thinking about what I want to hear, and that's why your ideas are no good, because you're thinking about what I want to hear. I want to know what you want to write.
Because she wants to hear her voice.
Right, and so that's what I think is one of my favorite parts about how that speech has intertwined just so far, is that we're actually seeing the feedback, and we're seeing this coaching, and we're seeing this guidance, and that's kind of fun because, watching a show like this, you take away thoughts, and you take away thought process of how other people are thinking, and it helps you learn, and it helps you grow. So I can kind of see how that show can be like this to, everybody in their career levels, and hopefully, I mean, obviously there's going to be drama, which is going to be like there's gonna be things that there's gonna be things that are gonna be escaping just the work life. But I think so far in this first episode, I think we've got a lot of great platforms of where this can grow, and I think it's going to be super exciting.
I actually want to tie what you're saying about growing. I think in order to grow, you have to be bold.
Right.
And that's like pretty much like
You're right. I love it. Yes. I love that.
That's a good one.
That is a good point. I was gonna say the quote you were saying earlier, Allie. I feel like. Wait, what was the quote that you were saying exactly?
About how she said, "Don't. I don't want you to tell me what I want to hear.
Yes.
What you. I want to know what you want to
I feel
write."
like that ties into like what. Let's face it, all of us are probably good at some point.
Yeah.
In our lives, overthinking.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And
A+.
Yeah.
I'm pro at overthinking. So, in that way, I feel like the show is gonna help young girls watching.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
young teens.
And I think
To
overthinking
not
is a
overthink.
great way to put it, because even Kat's boss was like, think about what you're going to say before you say it. And that was kind of something where it was like, well, that's what she wants to say, and she's thought about it.
Yeah, she's thought about
So
it.
I feel like a lot of us do overthink things, and I think what you're saying is we do, like, everybody has to be bold in order to do what you need to do, obviously within terms, you know.
Yeah.
There's certain standards you need to
Yeah.
not overstep boundaries, but
One thing that I did want to like tie down to like what you were saying is that I feel like this show could be a really good show for people to just kind of like learn from. And as far as like also like the audience for Freeform is such like a specific audience, and I feel like the audience for Freeform is a bold audience, because that's what Freeform stands for. You know, Freeform is a very bold network, and the people that are watching it, they have to be bold in order to watch it, or otherwise they're not going to like it, and they're not going to keep like staying tuned to it. So
yes.
I feel like this is one of the first very Freeform shows on the network, because a lot of shows that are on right now on Freeform were around when Freeform was still ABC Family.
You're right.
Yeah.
So I feel like this
is the
show
entrance.
specifically fits the Freeform brand.
You're right.
There you go.
Exactly.
And
Good
she would
thoughts.
know. If
Good
anyone would know, it
thoughts,
would be
Becca.
Becca.
Well, with that being said, shall we get into some predictions for the season?
Yes.
Let's do them.
Do it.
I can't believe there's 3 weeks.
I know.
I know.
And this episode's airing again in 3 weeks.
Yes, it is. Alrighty, Becca. Let's hear your predictions. We already know what one of them's gonna be.
Ooh. Okay, Adina and Kat, definitely 100%. I think they have chemistry, and I think that Jane and Eric's friend are going to get together. I think they had some chemistry, and he has a nice smile.
Yeah, he does have a nice smile.
He has a nice
Nice smile.
Maybe we can get him in and you can
Yeah.
see his nice smile.
And
See
be
the
like,
person.
I'm just like smile all the time. I mean, no. And I mean, I feel like the show is gonna be about just life lessons.
Right.
all the way
Yeah.
through. I feel like
Yeah.
every episode is gonna hold some sort of life lesson, and then with some sort of emotional thing that's gonna make me cry.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. And we've seen, like what you guys were saying earlier, it is, just real quick before my prediction, it is cool. There are a lot of like pro-women shows that are not for young girls. So it's good to see something that's like age appropriate for like
Yeah.
girls to
Right.
kind of watch, because TV does influence
Young
like your
adults.
daily life. Young adults, I'm sorry. Young
Yeah.
adults.
No, you said it perfectly.
Did I? Oh, I thought you were correcting me. Young girls, young adults. We're all young. But predictions, I predict that Richard's gonna be the villain of the show.
Oh,
Because he not only does he have power with the girls because of Sutton, he also has power within the magazine. Like, you know, he can mix
Interesting.
things up.
All right.
I agree
that's mine.
1,000%.
Alrighty.
I'm having a hard time actually predicting the show, because I feel like I don't know what I want to happen, but I guess I shouldn't want something to happen. It should just let it surprise me. But I personally feel like the guy, like Richard, is probably gonna break Sutton, and Sutton is gonna break on the girls. That's kind of what I feel.
That's a good prediction.
Yeah.
I can maybe see that happening. I don't
She's
know.
most fragile at this
Yeah.
point.
And I think, are you done with your
in herself.
predictions?
That was pretty much the whole.
I guess it's not even really a prediction, it's just kind of, I guess, a thought, is that I'm wondering if the way that everything tied up, I'm wondering if it is going to be one of those, like, learning shows, or if it's more so going to be something where, like, a bombshell is going to happen, and, like, we're going to, like, something big is going to happen. But for right now, I guess I'll predict that I think it's going to be, like Becca, you said, a life lessons kind of show, or, sorry, Leslie, was that you or was that Becca? Life lessons, Becca, okay.
The drama, though.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be a very insightful show into certain things that we might not have known. And like Joanna had said in that article, that there's things that are kind of based off of certain experiences that it could be intriguing and definitely fun to watch. And super excited to see how it unfolds, because we're only basing these predictions off of one episode, one great, phenomenal episode.
good.
Yes,
Really
thank you, Freeform, for bringing us the bold type.
If you didn't watch July 11th.
Yes, July 11th.
We'll be back.
We will be back, but I guess with that said, does anybody have any last thoughts before we wrap up this after show for tonight?
Good job to all
Allie.
involved.
Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies, and thank you all for watching. We are so excited to be on this panel for the Bold Type on Freeform. Make sure that you tune in on July 11th, where the season will be coming back. Like Becca had mentioned, there's going to be the first episode, the one we just watched tonight, and then the second one as well. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to follow AfterBuzz TV on Snapchat, on Instagram, on Twitter, all of the social media platforms. And Becca, where can they find you?
Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
And you can find me, Leslie Ambriz, on Twitter and Instagram at In Less Than No Time.
And you can find me on Instagram at Karla with a K, BEE Travels.
And AfterBuzzers, you can find me on Twitter at Ali Nasta and on Instagram at Ali Girl. Thank you so much, and we will see you in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
All right, see ya.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.